Hello and welcome to Reality Check. Politics, some would say democracy, has been in lockdown in Jammu and Kashmir for over a year, but has now opened up for the first time after the scrapping of Article 370, with elections to district councils, or DDCs as they're called. And already it's triggered a war of words. The newly formed Gupkar alliance, made up of Mehbooba Mufti and the party of the Abdullahs along with others, has done well, leading along with its allies in most of Jammu and Kashmir's 20 districts. This, their leaders claim, is a rejection of the scrapping of Article 370. But the BJP claims they are the single largest party and that these elections are not just a win for democracy, but evidence that the Modi wave is alive and kicking from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. Joining me on the show is Mehbooba Mufti, who is a senior leader of the PDP, joining me from Srinagar. Thank you very much indeed, Mehbooba ji, for joining me. Now, let me just start off by getting you to respond to this political clash that has already started, because the numbers suggest that the Gupkar alliance is leading in most of the districts, but the BJP says we are the single largest party and that these elections are a win for democracy. How would you respond?
Mostly at the borders of Delhi, you can see Modi wave at the borders of Delhi this time, with lakhs of farmers protesting there. That is the Modi wave we are seeing at this point of time. But anyway, that's that. Let me tell you, we could have done much better than what we have done had they given us an level playing field. इन्होंने हमारे जो कैंडिडेट्स हैं उनको बंद किया, मुझे कैंपेनिंग के लिए जाने नहीं दिया. जितनी भी मशीनरी थी, इनके मिनिस्टर्स, they were staying here for almost a month, all those ministers came and the government machinery was in its full form, kind of putting hurdles everywhere. तो ये जो हुआ, ये तो अभी इन्होंने खाली एक, they have just seen the trailer. They don't know what's going to hit them once we join for the assembly elections. So now saying we are the largest party, we got more votes, naturally they would have got more votes, क्योंकि जम्मू में वोटिंग परसेंटेज ज्यादा होता है, कश्मीर में वोटिंग परसेंटेज कम होता है. But having said that, I don't think Kashmir is about कि कितने वोट पड़े, कितने इलेक्शंस हुए, because Kashmir is a much bigger problem than कि कितने लोग उन्हें वोट डाले, किसके ज्यादा हुए, किसके कम हुए.
Sure.
And I think that is one of the reasons कि Delhi is so jittery about it. They know Kashmir is a bigger problem than casting of votes.
Right. But you're saying you're treating these results though as the first, because these are the first time that you've had elections after 370. And you're saying, and I've heard Omar Abdullah also say this, that this is almost a referendum, a public referendum on 370, that this is a rejection of the scrapping of 370? How would you say that?
Well, we definitely did not make it into a referendum. It was BJP, who spoke more about 370 all the time. 370 को दफन किया, उसकी बात मत कीजिए. गुपकार गैंग 370 की बात क्यों करते हैं? They made it into a referendum, and now it has become a referendum because people have voted en masse for the alliance, and people have shown their resentment. They came out to vote and they wanted to give a message to Delhi that what you have done on 5th August 2019 is not acceptable to us. You have done something, very draconian, something, you have stolen something from us, which is not a right thing. It's unconstitutional, it's illegal, it's immoral, whatever they have done. So people are against that scrapping of 370 and they want it to be restored back. So this is very loud and clear for Delhi to understand that people have not forgotten.
Right.
Maybe you have made them, you have forced them into silence, you have terrorized them into silence, but that doesn't mean that, it has gone out of their minds and hearts. 370 still lives in our hearts and minds, and we are going to fight for it till the last breath.
But my question, Mehbooba Mufti, is that the BJP has still won 3 seats in the Kashmir Valley, which they say is a big achievement.
Let's not go into, how they, I said let's not go into how they won these 3 seats, Let's not go into that. They got papers of one, candidate rejected in 1 seat. The other seat, they took the polling booth was inside the lady who won in her, village, in her home, and who was fighting against her. Uska 3 kilometer दूर polling station रखा गया. So let's not go into that. Let's not go into what happened at Tulel, and because that's a military area.
Okay.
But my point is that it was not PDP who made it into a referendum. It was BJP who said 370 nahi milega, usko dafan kiya. But now people have sent them a very clear message that we have not forgotten about 370. We are going to fight for it till our last breath. So that is the message Delhi should get.
Okay. But you were saying that these are, because the BJP keeps saying that these elections show that we are sort of promoting democracy in the valley in Jammu and Kashmir. But you're saying that this election has seen multiple detentions, including of yourself. I saw your tweet.
Yeah.
You were, how many times were you detained?
Yes, of course. Oh, I just don't remember it. I think more than 4 times during, I think 2 weeks. And they made it very clear that I can go only after the commencement of the elections. So that is why what I say, we would have done much better if we had been given a level playing field. A level playing field to mila nahi, but anyway, whatever it is, I don't know why Kashmiris should be why should Kashmiris be thankful for holding a free and fair election in Jammu and Kashmir, which it was not. It wasn't fair. It was not. There was no level playing field. But why should Kashmiris be very thankful about it? When they say Kashmir is a part of this country, तो any other part में जब इलेक्शन होते हैं तो इससे इतना हल्ला बुल्ला नहीं होता है कि हमने इलेक्शन कराए, डेमोक्रेसी की जीत हो गई. ये तो जीत जम्मू कश्मीर के लोगों की हुई. ये तो जीत जिसको ये गुप्कार गैंग कह रहे थे उसकी हुई. तो अभी हमको एंटी नेशनल कहते थे. अब जिन लोगों ने हमें वोट डाले, क्या वो भी एंटी नेशनल है? So I think they have been exposed.
But what are the grounds? What are the charges or the grounds on which they would keep detaining you?
Nothing, can you imagine, they have detained, almost half a dozen of our leaders on the counting day. आप imagine नहीं कर सके कि इन्होंने कुछ भी नहीं दिया, no summons, no documents to show them कि हम आपको क्यों detain करें. पुलिस आई, घर का घेराव किया, whether it is नईम अख्तर, whether it is सरताज मदनी, मंसूर, बशीर मीर and many others, I may not be even knowing them. और उसके बाद घर चले गए पुलिस का, आपको हमारे साथ चलना है. किस रूल के अंडर, किस लॉ के अंडर, नथिंग डूइंग. अभी तक उनको बंद रखा है. हमारे जो फ्रेंड्स हैं, जो हमारा स्टाफ है, उनके घर छापे डाल रहे हैं because they could not find anything on me. Can you imagine, Vasu, they are also going after the mausoleum of my father. उसकी भी ये एडिटिंग कर रहे हैं कि वहाँ क्या हुआ है, वो कैसे बना है, पैसा कहाँ से आया है. I mean, a person who joined hands with them, knowing that his hands are going to get burned.
Father.
But in the large,
of your late
father. Yes, in the larger interest, yeah, of course.
They're auditing the expenditure on that.
Yeah, uska hisab kitab bhi kar rahe hain because they couldn't find any property that I have. So they have gone after my father who is no more here, who joined hands with the devil thinking that it was in the larger interest.
But
I mean, he trusted them.
What about?
Look, they can't even spare the people.
No, what about the fact that they've charged some of your leaders, including your youth wing head, Wahid Para, with terror charges, with charges of terror.
Yeah, that's what I say. Since they could not find any corruption charges against us, me, it's not about Wahid Para, it's about Mehbooba Mufti. They just want to get to me. That's why they are going after people. हमारे दाएं बाएं जो भी हमारे लोग हैं, मेरी तो कोई property नहीं है, so they could not convict me into corruption charges. तो इसलिए कहीं अब टेरर के साथ मिला रहे हैं. अब मैं एंटी नेशनल हो गई. अभी तक तो बिल्कुल ठीक ठाक थी मैं, जब तक इनके साथ हमारा अलायंस था. अब मैं एंटी नेशनल हो गई. अब मेरा टेररिस्ट के साथ लिंक्स है. सो दे आर ट्राइंग टू फ्रेम दोज चार्जेस. इट इज नॉट वही को तो मोहरा बनाया गया है.
No, I understand, but are you saying that even the charge, because this is the National Investigating Agency, the NIA, which is investigating this case in which they've charged your associate, are you saying these charges of terror, because terror charges are very serious, you're saying that's totally baseless?
Well, Vasu, unfortunately, all the agencies, be it NIA, be it ED, be it CBI, they have been weaponized to get even with your opponents. I mean, look what they are doing to Mamata Banerjee because she is resisting them. Look what they have done to the students. कोई स्टूडेंट आज मुंह खोलता है, कैसे मुंह खोलेगा? उसको टुकड़े टुकड़े गैंग करके उसको एंटी नेशनल बोलते हैं. जो आपके एनजीओज काम करते हैं, जो आपके एक्टिविस्ट काम करते हैं, उनको जेलों में डाल रहे हैं, उनको अर्बन नेक्सलाइट्स कहते हैं. जो मुसलमान इसमें थे शाहीन बाग में, उनको पाकिस्तानी बुलाया. अब जो फार्मर्स हैं उनको खालिस्तानी बुलाते हैं. हम कश्मीर तो टेररिस्ट ही हैं, हमें तो टेररिस्ट बुलाया ही जाता है. सो इट्स वेरी इजी फॉर देम, टू यूज NIA, I
Okay,
mean,
but
it's
at
a
the
very
same
serious
time-
agency, you know. This
Right.
could-
But at the same time, Mehbooba ji, is it just the agencies and the NIA? Because even your own party members, for example, when you made that comment that you will not unfurl the tricolour till the state flag of Jammu and Kashmir is restored, a number of your own
Yeah.
PDP leaders quit in
Yeah.
protest.
Yeah, that's okay. That I understand, because we need to understand it. Our state flag and our state constitution is a part of Indian constitution. It is not given to us by Pakistan. So when I say we need to restore it, I am asking for something which is within the Indian constitution. So when I say we need to hold both the flags together, because it was the Jammu Kashmir flag that connected us with the national flag, it was the Jammu Kashmir constitution, being a Muslim majority state, we had acceded under certain conditions. So where am I wrong? Where am I becoming an anti-national?
This is not, you were not insulting the national flag.
No, well, I am not saying I am not going to hold it. I said we are going to hold both the flags together. So what's wrong with that? How do I insult the national flag?
Okay, but are you worried
Because
though?
our state flag was equally.
Right.
Sorry?
Are you worried though that there is an exodus from your party? A number of leaders of your party have left. People like Muzaffar Beg is amongst the most prominent, but there's been so many people leaving. Doesn't that worry
Let
you?
me tell you the results. We fought lesser number of seats than National Conference and we got very good results, almost 30 seats. So that means all the leaders who have left, they have left alone. The cadre, our cadre is still there. They are still working very hard. They are still with the vision of Mufti Saab. They are still with the agenda of PDP. So I think new blood is coming into our party. Old people have left. I mean, I say good luck to them. So I'm not really bothered about them, because the results that came yesterday are very encouraging, and they are very encouraging as a whole for the PAGD, but especially encouraging for PDP, जिसकी obituary कई बार इन लोगों ने लिख दी थी, खत्म हो गई, बिल्कुल तबाह हो गया, PDP में कोई नहीं रहेगा. See what is happening here in Jammu and Kashmir, not in Jammu Kashmir, all through the country, this constitution is being replaced by BJP's agenda. You know, they have gone bankrupt. They don't have anything to sell to people now.
Yes.
So they are using they are misusing constitution, and they are implementing their agenda. यहाँ जम्मू कश्मीर में जब भी किसी को पकड़ के लेते हैं, I would call it abduction. I won't say कि वो उनको arrest करते हैं, because it is abduction. They don't, they are not summoned any other law. They say ऊपर से order आया है. Constitution is being replaced by ऊपर से order. I don't know ऊपर से constitution से ऊपर कौन है हमारा?
No, but Mehbooba ji, the fact is that this is a party that you did ally with. You're in alliance, you're in government with them.
I think you must be knowing my father. He was a great politician, a great statesman. I said he burned his hands, he joined hands with the devil for a larger cause, for a larger interest. He thought that Vajpayee had started a political process in Jammu and Kashmir. Since Modi ji, also swears by Insaniyat, Jamhuriyat and Kashmiriyat, he will be able to take Modi ji on the same path that Vajpayee went as far as Jammu Kashmir is concerned. My father thought that, he will be able to protect the special position of Jammu and Kashmir. That's what we put in our agenda of alliance की 370 के साथ हाथ नहीं लगाएंगे, कि जम्मू कश्मीर की स्पेशल पोजीशन को बचाने के लिए, पॉलिटिकल प्रोसेस को आगे चलाने के लिए हमने उस आदमी के साथ हाथ मिलाया जिसको मेजॉरिटी मिली, और जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर बना पूरे मुल्क का, खाली जम्मू कश्मीर का भी उसमें हाथ था कि जम्मू कश्मीर का भी वो प्राइम मिनिस्टर बना, जम्मू से भी उनको 3 सीटें मिली. तो मुफ्ती साहब ने मोदी के साथ नहीं हाथ मिलाया. He joined hands with the Prime Minister of India to facilitate the resolution of Kashmir problem.
No, was it for that,
and to
or as some
Article 370?
But was it for that? Because
sorry.
No, was it for reconciliation, or was it as now Omar Abdullah, who's now of course your alliance, as part of the Gupkar coalition, he says this was an opportunistic alliance. It was done only for power.
My father tried to engage BJP through alliance. Otherwise, my father could have become chief minister even allying with Congress. Even Umar Abdullah offered his, support to us at that point of time. What could have stopped my father from becoming the chief minister if he just wanted to be the chief minister? He wanted to engage them through his alliance. He wanted to tell them that, look here, Jammu Kashmir saw a golden period when my father was their Chief Minister from 2002 to 2005.
Right.
And thanks to Vajpayee, he did a great job. So he wanted to continue with that. Otherwise, तो और क्या था? जो हमारा agenda of alliance था, उसमें 370 था, उसमें एस्पा का revocation था, उसमें पाकिस्तान के साथ बातचीत थी, उसमें हुर्रियत के साथ बातचीत थी, उसमें दूसरे रास्ते खोलने की बात. All our self-rule agenda was in that. So we did enter into an alliance on our terms, not on their terms.
Okay.
We said nothing doing with 370. They agreed. They agreed to each and everything.
Okay.
But after the government fell, they did what they wanted to do. Yeah.
Okay, you said it's a deal with the devil, but where do you now go from here, Mehbooba Mufti? Because you are saying that this Gupkar alliance is going to remain solid even for assembly elections. Are you all clear about that? Because historically you've all been rivals and at times bitter rivals. I mean, you and the Abdullahs have been rivals.
It's not about. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, we have been rivals, but for the larger cause of Jammu and Kashmir. I said my father joined hands with devil for the larger cause of Jammu and Kashmir. So I am his daughter. For the larger cause, we can all get together. We are Kashmiris at the end of the day. So we can join hands. I am not talking about assembly elections only. We are here not only for elections. Election is a part of democracy. So we are trying to fight for 370 in a democratic way.
Okay.
But we are in it for a larger cause, that is to restore what has been taken away from us.
No, but in practical terms, if there are assembly elections and you fight together, who will be Chief Minister?
That is something I don't think we have discussed all this. This is for another time when they are going. I am not sure, like Umar yesterday said, he mentioned कि अभी तो लगता नहीं हमें कि इतनी जल्दी इलेक्शन करेंगे असेंबली के, बिकॉज इनको ऑलरेडी डर लग गया है कि जो उन्होंने यहाँ प्रॉक्सीज अपनी खड़ी कर ली थी वो भी कम्प्लीटली फेल हो गए. ये खुद भी इन्होंने इतना मैनिपुलेशन, इतना मसल पावर, मनी पावर इस्तेमाल करके भी look where they are today. So I think they may not hold assembly elections so soon, but whenever they are held, we'll sit together and discuss.
Okay. But when you say
no, just a minute.
Yes.
As I had made it very clear earlier also, I am not in the race. I am not going to fight any elections.
You are not fighting elections. You are clear about that.
I am not going to. Yes, I am very clear. I am not going to fighting any elections.
Why
till
not?
370 is restored.
Oh, till 370 is restored.
No, I am not going to fight any elections.
Till 370
because
is
I have
restored.
fought my election under. I have fought my election swearing on Jammu and Kashmir constitution. That is not there. So how do I fight an election?
Okay, because Omar Abdullah is also saying, he also said earlier that he also won't fight until 370 is restored. Won't it be very odd if the two generals, the leaders of both parties are not going to fight elections?
No, I don't know about Umar Saab, but as far as I am concerned, won't be fighting any election unless and until our own constitution is not restored.
But is that a realistic expectation, Mehbooba Mufti, given that this entire abrogation was, it was ratified in Parliament, passed by a majority, and made into law? BJP is still in power. I mean, what are the odds of this ever getting reversed?
This country is going to be ruled by the constitution. And it is the Indian constitution that has given us something which they could not have taken away from us by a brute majority. It is illegal, it is unconstitutional. I mean, I can go anywhere if I have to fight for it, even at the international court. Maybe I may go there, international tribunal, if I have to fight for it, if they push me too hard. If they don't, listen to the voice of the people who have voted yesterday for this PAGD alliance, maybe they force us to go to, international tribunal, because whatever they have done on 5th August 2019 is illegal, unconstitutional. It's against the Indian constitution. It's against, Baba Saheb Ambedkar's constitution.
But here's what the BJP and the administration in J&K says, that if there was so much public anger against the abrogation, against all that they've done, which you say is terrible, why are people not out on the streets? Because there's always been a culture of protest.
How can they be on streets?
Jammu and Kashmir
how
even
can they
defying
be on streets?
curfew,
They have
because they've defied in the past. So why are they not on the streets now?
Yeah, They have terrorized people into, silence. You can't imagine. You should come here and stay and see. There is a silence of graveyards here. Nobody can speak. Nobody can talk. You have seen what they have done to the students in the country. How they are putting them in jails. What they have done to the activists in the country. What happened in Delhi riots. It was the Muslims who are put behind the bars. So you can imagine. See, look, what is happening in the country.
Okay.
You can multiply it by 100 times. That is what is happening in Kashmir.
What are you
there is
yourself?
Total terror, suppression.
Are you yourself fearful or worried that you too may be picked up again?
Yes, anytime. Because when Wahid said a couple of days, before he was taken up, he said that I am talking about 370. I am talking about Kashmir issue. I may be taken away anytime, and that's what they did. So even I may be arrested on any charges, since they can't find any corruption charges on me, so they may go for this terror angle, anything can happen. So, because there is no rule of law in this country.
But when you were picked up in the past and earlier also when you were kept in detention for all those months, was there any attempt to strike a deal with you? Were you approached to say?
Definitely they try to,
they
try to reach out to me and tell me that, you should, start, the new reality is different now, forget about the past and all those things. But it doesn't work that way. I mean,
they did. Can you? Who approached you, if I may ask?
No, I would not like to say that, but they did, and they also gave us a paper to be signed that if we want to be released, अगर हम release होना चाहते हैं, तो हम 370 पे बात नहीं करेंगे. अगर बात करेंगे तो 50,000 हमें penalty देनी पड़ेगी. So it is total gunda raj here, and I may be picked up any time, and maybe अगला interview आपके साथ नहीं हो, because they are going right and left and everywhere. हमारे जो आज कई जगहों पे इन्हें छापे मारे, जो हमारे साथ हमारा स्टाफ काम कर रहा था, मेरी एक कलीग है, उसके यहाँ छापा मारा है. But they are not finding anything.
But the
courts, they are not
courts,
finding anything.
But the court, I mean, if these charges and these accusations are so wrong and so baseless, what about the courts? Can you not seek justice in the courts?
Unfortunately, all the checks, the problem is all the, checks and balances that we have in our country, whether it is the agencies, whether it's the media, whether it's the judiciary, they seem to be, being subjugated. What do? I'm sorry to say that.
Okay.
But that's what is happening. All the pillars who were supposed to check us, keep us in check, keep the government in check, they are being subjugated. We have seen it happening in so many cases.
Okay.
So we don't know what to do now. We don't know really what to do about it unless we start, because except for a few of you and some guys who are there, the media which is known as Godi media, I call it Godi gang.
Right.
And look how they are projecting these farmers, protests and everything.
All right. Well, let's see how it plays out. But certainly, at least these elections have opened up some kind of space for politics and for democratic politics in Jammu and Kashmir. Let's see how it plays out. Mehbooba Mufti, thank you so much indeed for talking to us. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.